In this video, I'm going to talk about the reason why AI is not going to take your job. And the word today is design strategy. I want to believe that the job of a designer is not just to put colors, shapes, other elements, maybe pictures, typography, and accidentally come up with a design. I think that was the idea they said they had for the Big Bang Theory, which doesn't still make sense to me. But a designer is that person that the client comes to meet, and the client says, I want a design for my mother who just passed away, and with careful collection of details and whatnot, you create something like this. And when you create it, the client and every other person that views the design is sorrowful. They feel, I don't know if this is the word, but sublime. So they're like touchy-feely, oh my god, she passed away, rather than this type of design, party design. So everybody that sees it, say gbedu they come, like they'll say in church, put on your dancing shoes and whatnot. It means that you're not just placing text on a canvas. It means that there is thinking behind your design. I'm a brand identity designer, and I'm going to speak about it from a brand identity point of view. And we're going to be looking at design strategy, how it affects sides of the design. And so the first part we're going to talk about today is how it affects your creation of the elements. I think this is very important because you are the generation maker of the brand when it comes to design. You're the one that starts the brand off from the ground. Strategy is supposed to help you come up with the elements such that the client reaches out to you and they are like, oh, we want to create a brand, a fitness brand for old people in their 60s who are vegetarians and they want to feel Gen Z. So there's a way you create it in such a way that it patterns exactly to them. So let's look at brand like Nike. Nike creates shoes. Louis Vuitton, they are also a fashion brand, but their target audience is entirely different. Nike wants to reach out to the athletic community, while Louis Vuitton wants to reach out to the people that have money and more classy, because they probably have the same client, but the same client buy it for different reasons. So there's strategy behind selecting the elements that you do. So for example, if a brand comes out to you and they say, we want to communicate trust, strength, want to tell people that we are reliable, the first color that comes to your mind is blue, and it's because you're a human being. So if you just pick colors without having to associate them with whatever it is that the client gives to you, then that is what I have an issue with. That's what you're trying to tackle today. So you should look at what the client says and diagnose colors for the clients, diagnose typography, style of design. If the design is supposed to have edges, pointy edges or curved edges, I think that's how they used to differentiate when the brand is friendly, when the brand is not, even though that is not the end of it. Please, you understand. Now, how are we going to get this information from the client? There are 3 things I want you to do in order to make this strategy work. 1, have a questionnaire sent to the client. And so if you don't have one, I've been able to put up one that a lot of clients have told me that increase after answering your questionnaire. I got to know things about my brand that even me did not know before. So my questionnaire is in the description below and is going at a discount today. So do well to purchase it in order to help you. So what this questionnaire helps you do is that it helps your clients understand more about their brand and you about the client's brand. Now, here's a pro tip. Some of the questions are being repeated in another form. Do you get? So I can ask one question in this questionnaire and ask it again in a different way to see if the answers are correlating. So it has like a psychological thing to it. So clients that answer this questionnaire, for example, my client, they come and they're like, oh, I didn't know this. Sometimes they don't actually even have the answer to the brand, and that shows you they probably did not necessarily think of it and they just wanted to create a brand. The second thing I want you to do is that you should have calls with your client, voice calls, but more importantly video calls, because what video calls helps you do is that you see the expressions of the client. And so when the client is talking about a certain color or maybe a certain brand, you see the excitement in their face and you know that you should look into that brand to check what that brand is doing. That's probably making your client go nuts. So the second part of strategy, what strategy does in the beginning is to help you select these elements, colors, logo and whatnot. Now the second part is how to implement it. For example, things like color pairing. You don't want to pair colors in such a way that they give off the vibe that the brand did not have in the beginning. So even if white and black is in almost every brand's brand identity, there are some brands that you necessarily don't want black to be a background color for. Let's say it's for a kiddies brand. You want probably their yellow, their blue, their green to be background colors, but not having a black background color for a school brand. Even though black can also be used in their design, let's say for like their letterhead or their other designs that you do, you don't even want white to be a background because it will give off a different vibe. So strategy also helps you make those elements that you selected being used in the right format. Even when you have your logo suite, there are some logos that should not be in some designs. Like for example, your secondary logos or maybe like your icons are not supposed to be used in places where your brand has not yet been established, where people don't necessarily know the brand. So if you want to print merch, like let's say cup in the office, you can just use like even the brand patterns to print it, because you people that are drinking from that mug, you know about the brand. But when you want to do flyers, you want to send probably emails, you want the brand to show in its full glory, so you use the primary logo that shows everything about the brand so that they know about the brand and probably could search it up online and basically learn more about it based on what you've gotten from the questionnaire and the calls you've had with the client when you initially meet the client. These are the things that are going to help you know how you're going to place each element in the brand guide so that when they are being used in the brand overall, they give off what exactly the brand is supposed to give off. You know, I'm Gen Z. It has to be given basically. If it's not given, I don't know why you're designing it. Yeah, so we've come to the end of the video. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. And I recently did a challenge where I don't know what happened to me. I just felt like I could design 30 logos in 30 minutes. If you want to check out that video, this is the video here. Just basically go and watch it. Thank you very much. Peace out.